Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here is your host, Dave Woodward.
Hey everybody, welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio. I'm your host, Dave Woodward. Today, you guys are going to love this one. You have the opportunity of hearing from Djamel Bettahar, who is the COO of Organify. This is kind of like, we're going back to our grassroots here with ClickFunnels and Drew Canoli and Russell. And Djamel is the guy who basically actually makes sure that all this stuff really works. So I thought it'd be an honor to have him on. So Djamel, welcome.
Thank you so much, David. It's an honor to be on. I'm glad to share, or excited to share everything that we've learned over the past couple of years with your audience.
So cool. I've been with Russell for years and things, and it's been, obviously I know Drew's story super well, and I've met you at a couple of our events. It's been fun to spend time with you, but I think the part I'm most excited about is just seeing how you guys have really just blown up. I mean, you guys are growing like crazy. So again, real quick, if any of you guys aren't familiar with the product, this is Organify. You can check it out at Organify.com. Best green juice drink in the world. I use it all the time, and super excited about it. So Djamel, let's go ahead and just kind of dive right into this thing, and take us from wherever you want, and let's kind of just go.
Yeah, like you said, we've been growing really fast. It's been an incredible journey. We actually hit the Inc. 500 list this year. We were actually 134 on the Inc. 500 list, so really
That's
excited.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is so cool. I didn't know that. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, just it's kind of like proof is in the pudding, or credibility. It's like the stamp of approval, like, well, we're actually doing it, we're on the, yeah, we went from, Organify was like really launched about 2 years ago, and from zero sales to about 25 million a year this year. So in about 2 years, we went from, FitLife was doing 1 million, and now we're doing 25 million. So
dude, that's crazy. I mean, those are such crazy numbers. I absolutely love this. Djamel, it's kind of funny. My mom actually, I'm out in Boston at HubSpot's Inbound, and I flew my mom in to take care of the kids so my wife can join me this weekend. But it was really kind of crazy because I was sitting there talking to her. She has no idea what I do. It just still blows her mind. She's like,
yeah,
are you trying to tell me like companies can really go from like nothing to like $1 million in a year? I'm like, Mom, we got companies like are going from nothing to 2 million and 3 million and 25 million. It just, so I'm super excited. You're just the poster child of success, and I love it.
I love it. Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. Opportunities are endless for anybody. Anybody can do it. So it's really exciting. That's kind of where we're at right now. And then now we're currently expanding into different, a whole bunch of different traffic sources and actually into retail. So we're turning into a legitimate company. We're in Sprouts, we're in Fraser Farms, we're in Windmill Farms and Clark's, and so it was all because of the online presence, and then the ability to drive traffic into funnels and have converting offers and follow-up sequences and everything that allowed us to scale to the point where we can leverage all those resources and move into retail and then continue to grow the company.
That's so killer. I'm so proud of you guys. It's just awesome. I remember when those weren't 25 million would have been a huge goal. So I think it's so cool to see you guys are already there. That's awesome. So let's kind of just go back to, I know, kind of picking up the story originally. Basically, it was Russell was meeting with you guys, drawing on your windows, basically, of your office buildings and things. And from then, obviously, you guys have worked with ClickBank. You guys have kind of grown up through that way as well. So if you don't mind, kind of talk to people about what types of funnels you guys are using, what's working for you. And again, I'd love to even talk about scaling and what you found, what works from a scaling standpoint and what doesn't. So let's talk more about the funnel first.
From the beginning, yeah. So in the beginning, we were actually doing digital funnels, and we were selling information products and membership things, and we converted into physical with Organify. And when we did that, we actually worked with Russell and modeled a lot of what he had with Neuracell. So kind of like the pricing structure, the upsell sequence, the follow-up sequence, the exit pops to Amazon. So we looked at the Neuracell funnel, and we copied the pricing. We copied the quantities. And the funny thing that we noticed was that on his upsell sequence, the first thing that he did was sell more of what he already bought. So that kind of was a weird epiphany for us. We're like, why would you want to buy more of what you just bought? But I guess in the psychological side of things, you know, it's confirmation that they want the product, and then if they already want it and have purchased it, if you can give them a better deal on it, obviously they're going to take more. So that allowed us to get like a 20% conversion rate or take rate on upsell number one, just by selling more of what they already bought. Then
So
after, yeah.
So Djamel, were you going from 1 to 3 and then 6? What was your sequence?
So it was
Numbers.
actually 1, 3, 4. Initially, it was
1, 3,
1, 3, 4. Yeah,
Okay.
it was 1 bottle, 3 bottles, 4 bottles, and then what we did was whatever they bought, we just offered 3 more. So it was interesting. And another cool thing we learned from Russell was to have the 1 bottle price as kind of like a positioning play. So you have your 1 bottle price relatively high, so that it kind of encourages other people to buy the quantity buys, which improves or increases your cart value. So say, for example, we were initially going to sell 1 bottle at a time, which would have been, $50, $60. And that would have been our cart value. And that's what we were doing with digital products. We were saying, it's $97 straight off the bat, or $7 tripwire. When we priced the 1 bottle at $70 and then had the 3 bottle at a $129, which came out to about 40 something per bottle, it was a no-brainer, and then the 4 bottle was $149. So our cart value went from $70, what it would have been if we sold 1 bottle, $50 to $70, to $150, because people were just like encouraged. They were like, oh, I can spend just a little bit extra and get way more value for my money. So it shifted people over. The other thing that we did was that 1 bottle offer, we offered it as subscription at a discounted price for subscription only, which then allowed us to have a 3 bottle, retention. So in essence, no matter what they did on the page, they were buying 3 bottles or more instead of 1.
That's killer.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's killer. Yeah. And then another cool thing that we noticed was the Amazon exit pop. So say, for example, they take the first order, they go up to the upsell in the second one. Russell had an exit pop for Amazon.com, and it's interesting because Amazon takes about 15% of your purchase value. So that transaction fee compared to like Stripe or something, which is 3%, is really, really high. So that's like 5 times more expensive. But people actually are much more comfortable with purchase on Amazon. So on our funnels, the normal conversion rate is about 1 to 3%. On Amazon, our conversion rates are 20%. So somebody that hits our Amazon page, their conversion is 20%. So what we had is, if they're not comfortable or they don't know us yet on Organify.com, they're like, who are these people? I don't know. Should I put my credit card in here? I don't know. They go to Amazon, they trust it completely, and then we capture all the excess overflow of traffic. It's like a super trustworthy exit pop,
That is awesome. So this is, again, as an exit pop, for those people who don't understand that, basically, this is a person who's abandoning your site. They haven't purchased. They're basically leaving. They're bailing out. And so you give them the opportunity of actually buying it on Amazon. So, yeah, you're going to pay 5 times more in merchant accounts, but you're getting 6 to 7 times, almost 20 times more from a conversion standpoint. So that's fantastic. And, again, these are people you're going to lose anyways.
Exactly. So they were just leaving. So it's just gravy, It just adds to the cart value. Yeah.
That's crazy. So what were you finding? Your average cart values were then in the 125 to 150 range?
Yeah, correct. So it's 120 to 150. Yeah. And then
it's a lot better than $50.
Yeah, a lot better than $50. And prior to this, we were doing the tripwire method, which we never are going to do ever again, which was like $7. Yeah, we almost went bankrupt trying to do tripwires. You can't buy traffic when you're spending $7 a conversion, but when you're spending $100 conversion, you can definitely buy traffic. So.
Oh my gosh, I was just talking to Mike Dillard earlier about this whole concept of, for some reason, I don't know how people have kind of gotten to the idea that they have to start with the tripwire first, and it's a linear progression. It is not that way at all. And I think the part people have to understand is this is all about creating a funnel to where your average cart value is high enough that you can afford to spend money to get your traffic in. I mean, it's
Exactly.
It blows my mind when people think that you have to start with a tripwire and then you go from this to, I'm like, no. If you can do a webinar, if you can list to, or you can go straight to a product, go there. Go to whatever
Yep.
makes you the most money the fastest.
Exactly. And the more you can spend to acquire a customer, the more you can take ownership of the market. A really interesting example of that is with Apple. And when they first launched the iPhone, they were spending, or not, sorry, the iPhone, the iPod. So like Sony, their competitor was Sony, which was like the Walkman. And Sony's market was $100 CPA for a $100 product, right? And Apple was like, we're going to spend $1,000 to acquire this customer, knowing that our customer value is only $100. But once they buy that, what do you call it? That iPod, they're this percent likely to buy a MacBook. So now their conversion value, they're basing the conversion value on a MacBook, not an iPod. It's crazy. So the more
so smart.
Yeah, and they just completely dominated Sony because they just spent this much. It's like you can't outspend them. So
yeah, it goes back to the
way up. Yeah.
It's the old saying of whoever can pay the most to acquire the customer is always going to win the game. So Apple did it for sure. I mean, you don't even hear about Sony, so that's amazing.
Yep. They went out of business. The MP3 player, yeah.
God, that's crazy. Well, that's awesome. So now, so that was kind of your funnel there. You guys then started working with ClickBank, I believe. Was that your next step, or?
Exactly. So we launched it to our audience, which was warm traffic, and this is kind of going into the story of how we scaled it. So we had our audience of about 1 million followers on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, etc. And we launched our product initially to that warm traffic. Then ClickBank approached us and they wanted to do a deal. Their new CEO was interested in like expanding into the supplement industry. And they just knew that after seeing us, we were like a really, really high quality, well-trusted brand. And we had integrity with our product. We aren't there to scam people, and we aren't going to get in trouble with the FTC and all that stuff. Like if they were going to start supplements, the first company they started with would have been us. So we built a partnership with them, and over the course of 6 months, we built out the integration on how to allow physical products to work on ClickBank. And they, in turn, brought on different affiliates and kind of built a little bit of the buzz. And that was like a really, really nice partnership that we took advantage of. It was crazy. Yeah.
Well, that was a brand new thing for them as well. I mean, it was as much of a trust in you guys as anything else. I mean, ClickBank's had their own struggles, and so you guys have totally. I mean, you've saved their butt a couple times, so that's pretty dang cool.
It was interesting because, although it worked with our audience, but you never know. You never know. Yeah. So right before we did the ClickBank launch, all of us were sweating. We're like, okay, all right, we got these affiliates on board. Like, let's see. I hope it converts. And then 1 or 2 affiliates did some test drops, got some really good numbers on their EPCs, and they were like, oh man, this is crazy. And then they started talking to different affiliates. And then bigger affiliates were like, let me see your screenshots of your performance. Let me see the conversion metrics and the EPCs and everything like that. And they're like, oh, dang, this is getting good. So we had like a 2-week launch. Day one, a few very small affiliates sent, and we did like $10,000 in sales. And then the next day was like 12,000. And then people started like jumping on. And it was crazy because towards the end, all the big affiliates started jumping on, and they were competing against each other. So there's another tip for you guys: if you ever do an affiliate launch, make sure that you have a leaderboard because they're very, very competitive against each other. They're like, how am I doing? Am I beating Scott? Am I beating Tyler? They want to know where they're at. So the last 2 days out, it was like 30,000 in sales, and then, or 3 days out, it was 30,000 in sales. 2 days out, it was like 75,000 in sales, and the last day it was like $170,000 in sales. Because everybody just started cranking it, trying to beat each other. So it just skyrocketed. And then that allowed us to understand our metrics so much better, which opened up the door to cold traffic, which was the next scaling step. So it's warm traffic, affiliate traffic, and then we're moving into cold traffic. Yeah.
That's awesome. So cool. I can tell you, it's funny on the whole leaderboard thing. We typically only do one promotion a year, and we'd committed to Stu quite some time ago to do his launch for his tribe bonus back in August. And
Yeah.
we got a real late start on it just because of things we had going. And honestly, I was working with Russell, and we literally were looking at the leaderboard on a regular basis and
Yeah.
seeing how fast we were we weren't even in the top 10. Then all of a sudden, you were in the number 7 and then number 4. And it's one of those driving forces. Any of your big affiliates are highly competitive, and it's more about bragging rights than anything else. It's kind of funny. I almost felt like I had to concede the election at the very end to Ryan Levesque. I went out to him and said, you know what, bud, congratulations, you beat us on this. And he was kind enough to basically say, well, yeah, had you guys started earlier, I wouldn't have been able to hold off. But we ended up number 2 in that one, so it was kind of fun. But you're right, leaderboards are a big deal. So again, if any of you guys are running a affiliate contest where you're trying to bring in big affiliates, I highly recommend you put together a leaderboard. People love seeing that kind of stuff.
Totally.
So you went from basically your warm traffic, or from traffic you owned, then the traffic you basically were able to go out and get from affiliates and your relationships there.
Right. Yeah. And actually, it was interesting because affiliates that weren't able to get in on the launch wanted to get in, so we had a second launch, and they did even better than the people in the first launch. It was like the number 1 guy in the second launch beat out the total sales for the number 1 guy in the first launch. So that cool. It was just crazy, yeah. But yeah, the partnership with ClickBank was incredible. They literally like doubled our business in the course of 2 weeks from that launch. Yeah, yeah.
It's a nice way to scale your business. 2 weeks, boom, double.
Yeah. 2 weeks, boom, doubled. Like people would try to double in a year, we just doubled in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what's next for you guys?
So then we moved into cold traffic, and this is where it got really technical and really fancy, because now we have multiple traffic sources, and each traffic source has its own messaging. So like, for example, one thing that we do on YouTube that nobody else does is we have the VSLs on YouTube. So a lot of people drive traffic to a 3-minute ad, which then points them to a lander with a VSL. Right. Instead, we have the VSL right there on YouTube. So it's hosted. So they're in the ecosystem of YouTube watching an hour-long video getting, sold. So by the time that they get over to our lander, they're already sold. It's the selling happens before they even leave the ecosystem of YouTube. With Facebook, it's more like entertainment. Like our ads are about 5 minutes long, and they're like really entertaining, really fast-paced. Instagram, it's very like visually appealing. Email drops, we have like, it's very, very copy driven, so like it's all about the copy when it comes to email drops. And then retargeting, we're using AdRoll. So I highly recommend using AdRoll. If any of you guys don't have media buyers working for you, or know how to run ads yourself, AdRoll is an incredible company, and they do, in addition to retargeting, they do prospecting, and they have like a really, really good reporting system, so you can see exactly how they're performing. And the cool thing is that now that we have multiple traffic sources all over, not only are we protected and diversified, so we have affiliate traffic, warm traffic, all these different sources of cold traffic. Yeah, I didn't even talk about the dark times of like before Organify, when we almost went out of business. But at that time, we were dependent solely on the organic Facebook algorithm. And when the algorithm changed, we were at the whim. So like our revenues could get cut in half like overnight. Now we're diversified across probably 20 different traffic sources. So we have protection against any algorithm changes. But also, we're able to hit the customer at every single angle. So they're experiencing this whole multi-touch point experience they're seeing on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, email, retargeted. They're on display. They see it everywhere. And we're able to, I was talking about the CPA earlier, we're able to actually like go negative on many different traffic sources because they're getting hit on all these platforms that we make the profit on the spillover. So like the Amazon pop was a spillover from the funnel. Now we have spillover traffic from traffic. It's like it takes a funnel from being a linear thing to this web. You have an entire machine on the internet working for you, like with different touch points, just pushing back everything. And your Amazon will blow up, your organic traffic will your search results will increase, retail will start reaching out, people will just start sharing it. They're going to see, it has this, we call it lift. It's called like a lift effect. Like you don't see the effect, but you see it in the bottom line. You can't measure it directly, but you know that like all these things working together are creating this much trackable revenue and this much lift revenue.
Yeah, I love that. I can tell you that lift effect is probably the hardest part for most businesses to get to, especially when you start trying to really scale. But that's the only way you can scale at a serious amount is when you start really getting these funnel webs all coming together, creating that type of a cohesive just energy to really just build your entire business. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the user will experience it as if you're just everywhere. You're omnipresent. Yeah.
Which helps. That helps a ton when they can't get away from you. That's much more than just retargeting. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys?
Right now, we are still growing fast. We just got an office after 4 years of being a virtual coffee shop company. We got an office, so that's good news. We're expanding onto the phones now. We hired about 7 people on the phones, and we're going to be hiring about 30 people in the next 60 days. And we're expanding to traffic sources. We're going to be doing TV, so look out for TV right now. We're going to be running commercials on mainstream, like ESPN, ABC. So we're going super mainstream. And retail. So we're moving into like Whole Foods, Costco. We brought in a very, very strong retail team to kind of help us grow. And the goal really is the ultimate goal of Organify is to have 1 billion people drinking green juice. Whether it's a fresh green juice, whether it's a superfood mix, it's our mission, because right now, 1 billion people drink Coca-Cola each day. So
that's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. And if they can put something better into their bodies, then we've accomplished our goal. We want to continue growing.
That's so cool. Is that kind of a huge scaling opportunity where you're like 1 billion people? That's something that's going to take you a little bit of time. You're not going to do that next year. So that is awesome goal.
That's long term. Yep.
That is so cool. I hope that as you guys are listening to this thing, you understand that the opportunities that are in front of you guys are so huge. They're just amazing. I mean, it's so funny when you take a look at where you guys started. I mean, Djamel, you guys were an information product, a bunch of YouTube videos, and you guys are doing massive, massive scale, $25 million in 2 years. I mean, that's just awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and the opportunities are just endless. And as you grow, different opportunities present themselves. So for those of you out there, keep an eye out. I don't know if you read Think and Grow Rich or any sort of like manifesting things. I never believed in it before, but once you put the intention out there in the universe, it unveils itself. Whereas if you don't put the intention out there, you'll never see it when the opportunity comes and it's right in front of you. So
I really appreciate your mentioning that, Djamel. It's been so funny. Our goal is to have 100,000 users of ClickFunnels by the end of 2017. And we started this year at 10. We're just right at pushing on 25,000 here. Hopefully to end the goal into the year by 30,000. But again, at first people think, oh my gosh, you guys could never get to that big. But it's been crazy. I'm actually, as I mentioned, I'm here in Boston. I've got a real large company who's VC backed, who's actually wanting to, I'm meeting with them tomorrow morning. We'll see how it goes. But they're looking for a platform. They have a huge ad spend, and they're looking for a platform to help build out all the funnels and websites for their clients on the front end. So it's again, you just have no idea. You have no idea what's going to happen. But when you totally commit to it and you go all in, I think it's awesome.
Exactly. And keep your mind filled. Keep listening to Funnel Hacker Radio, because just actually, keeping your mind on that will open up your eyes. even, like masterminds and things like that, like or conferences, you may not experience the direct impact, but it opens your eyes, so.
Yeah, I think of those masterminds and conferences. They're kind of like that lift effect you talked about.
Right,
You don't know,
right.
You don't know exactly where it came from, but you're like,
Right.
oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
keep your eyes open. Know your numbers. Right.
Know your numbers.
Know your numbers and put the intention out there.
I love it. Anything else before we wrap things up here, bud?
That's all. I guess if you guys are interested in checking out our product lines, Organify.com, and we're coming out with a protein in December, right for the New Year's. So keep an eye out for that as well.
That's fantastic. Again, highly endorse and recommend Organify. It's my favorite green drink of choice. So it's again, I even like your little zip packs. They make it really easy for travel as well. So that's always kind of fun.
Heck yeah, Organify go.
All right, I love it.
If you want a discount code, you can use my name, DJ. Just type in DJ or Djamel for a discount.
All right. So again, so you're going to go to Organify.com.
Yep.
And the code then is going to be what?
DJ. Yeah. I go by DJ or Djamel. So yeah, that should get
guys.
20% off or something. I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Well, Djamel, thank you so much. I didn't expect that. So those of you guys who are listening just got 20% off on Organify. So put in the code DJ, and if you haven't tried it, you got to try it. If for no other reason than the fact that you've been listening to our Funnel Hacker Radio podcast or any of Russell's things, this was one of the first companies we had the opportunity of working with, and love working with Drew, love working with Djamel, and the entire team over at Organify is awesome. So go try it out, guys. Djamel, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time today, bud.
Thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it, too.
Thanks for listening to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast. If you'd like to be notified anytime we release a new episode, just subscribe over at funnelhackerradio.com. In addition to that, we'd love to send you a free gift. You can find that free gift at funnelhackerradio.com/free trial. One last thing is we love giving away cars. So if you'd like access to a free dream car, all you have to do is go to funnelhackerradio.com/dream car and you'll get all the details. Thanks again for listening.